A warm welcome, everyone, to our What's Up Trivia as we proceed into the new month of March. Who wrote the book Murder of the Orient Express, the famous book that included the famous detective Hercule Poirot?
Is Agatha Christie. She is a very famous British writer who wrote 66 English detective novels and 14 short English story collections. The fictional detectives that usually appear in her stories are Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple. The main book she wrote was Death on the Nile, The ABC Murders, Crooked House, Endless Night, Peril at End House, and Then There Was None, and Murder of the Orient Express itself.
Everyone knows the famous book Harry Potter. It has even been made into an exciting movie. But did you wonder what other books J.K. Rowling, author of the book Harry Potter, wrote, except for the book Harry Potter? Well, Harry Potter is a book targeted for children and adults all alike. Rowling also wrote a series of 5 books called The Cormoran Strike, targeted for adults. Recently, she finished a fairy tale for 7 to 9-year-olds called The Ichabod, which takes place in the mythical land of Cornucopia.
We like reading books, but what was the first novel ever written in historical records? The Tale of Genji is, as far as we know, the world's first full-length novel. It was written in the 11th century by Japanese noblewoman Murasaki Shikibu. It is a love story between Emperor Kiritsubo and his wives.
Anthony Horowitz is the writer of the spy series Alex Ryder. How many books are there in the series as to 2020? There are a surprising 13 books in the Alex Ryder series, with the latest book, Nightshade, out on April 2020. The earliest book, Stormbreaker, dates back to 2000. Anthony Horowitz is a British author who is most famous for writing the Alex Ryder series. He has written a lot of novels before Alex Ryder, but Alex Ryder is undoubtedly the most famous series of novels. It tells of Alex Ryder, a 14-year-old being recruited by MI6 as a spy, and he is highly successful. This is one of my most favorite books too.
What is the most expensive book in the world? This answer depends on how you define a book. If a notebook counts as a book, the Codex Leicester is the one. The Codex Leicester is literally a fancy name for Leonardo da Vinci's notebook, which includes a lot of scientific discoveries and drawings. It was purchased in 1994 for $53.5 million by Dr. Bill Gates. If you think a notebook doesn't count as a book, then the answer would be The Birds of America. The Birds of America is a book by naturalist and painter John James Audubon, containing illustrations of a wide variety of birds of the United States. On 6 December 2010, a complete copy of the first edition was sold in London for $12.9 million. The winning bid was a record auction price for a printed book and was placed by London-based art dealer Michael Ptolemaic, who outbid 3 others during the auction.
I believe you guys know the book Fahrenheit 451. But where did it get its name? The reason is simple. Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature at which book paper catches fire and burns. Author Ray Bradbury has been told that 451 degrees Fahrenheit or 233 degrees Celsius was the auto-ignition temperature of paper. So he named the book Fahrenheit 451. This book presents a future American society where books are outlawed and firemen burn any that are found. It was banned in America as one of the books burned by the fireman was the Bible. Bradbury's main message in this book is that a society that wants to survive, thrive, and bring its people fulfillment must encourage them to wrestle with ideas. He indicates that a society that puts all its emphasis on providing people with a superficial sense of happiness.
What is the best-selling children's book of all time? Publishers Weekly ran a very helpful study of this topic back in 2000, and they determined that the best-selling hardcover children's book of all time is The Pocky Little Puppy, and the best-selling paperback children's book of all time is Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web is the book I need to read at school now.
What names did Charles Dickens consider for his character in A Christmas Carol before settling on Tiny Tim? Okay, so Christmas Carol is a famous book by writer Charles Dickens, who is a famous writer. The book has 5 chapters, which Tiny Tim appears in its chapters 3 to 5. Tiny Tim is Bob Cratchit's youngest son. Tiny Tim is a happy boy who is seriously ill. Dickens had actually considered the names Small Sam and Puny Pete. They both sound ridiculous, but I swear I'm not making it up.
Who wrote the famous book To Kill a Mockingbird? The story was written by American Harper Lee. The story, told by the 6-year-old Jean-Louis Finch, nicknamed Scout, takes place during 3 years, 1933 to 35, of the Great Depression in the fictional town of Macomb, Alabama, where she lived with her older brother Jeremy, nicknamed Jem, and their widowed father Atticus. Jem and Scout befriend a boy named Dew, who visits Macomb to stay with his aunt each summer. The 3 children are terrified, yet fascinated by their neighbor, Arthur Redley. The adults of Macomb are hesitant to talk about Boo, and few of them have seen him for many years. The children feed one another's imagination with rumors about his appearance and reason for remaining hidden, and they fantasize about how to get him out of his house. After 2 summers of friendship with Dill, Scout, and Jem, find that someone is leaving them small gifts in a tree outside a Redley place. Several times the mysterious Redley makes gestures of affection to the children, but to their disappointment, he never appears in person.
Which author, best known for his books for children, is credited with popularizing the ridiculous word scrumdiddlyumptious? Well, Roald Dahl. He uses the word scrumdiddlyumptious in the book BFG, a big word big enough for the giant. But he didn't invent this word. In 1942, in the show The American Thesaurus of Slang, Lester Berry and Melvin Bark invented this word alongside other silly words. Scrumdiddlyumptious was made up from the words delicious, scrumptious, and excellent, and meant extremely tasty or simply delicious.
Okay, we talked a lot today, but still sadly, that's the end of this trivia. We hope you learned a lot more about books and we encourage you to read more.
Yes. Also, please hit the notifications button, click the like button, leave a comment, and smash the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and get ready for our next What's Up video.
Good day!